Hey there, my name is Angel Sheridan, and I'm the adapted physical education teacher in the Palo Alto Unified School District in California. And I am going to attempt to show you how to track your goals in a Google form and then in a Google spreadsheet with pivot tables. So, first thing you do is you go to New and Google Forms. Go ahead and title it. Give it a title here. There you go. First question, I keep it pretty simple and I just put the students' names. Make it a drop down. So you can just put in names. Then I add another question and I put the date, which it should automatically switch to a date. Then I put the time, how long I saw the student for, switch to time, and then I'm going to change it to duration of time. If you go over to these three little dots, hit duration, and it'll change it to duration. And the last thing I put is any comments I want to add. And you just leave that in paragraph style. So that's the initial part of the form. The next portion, you go to sections. You create sections per student. So section 1, I'm going to take the first student that I had, who I believe, his name was Joe. I'll just write Joe. So this section will be about Joe. And I add a question, and in here I put their goal. So let's, just for quickness sake, I'm just going to say throw 10 feet, 8 of 10 attempts. And then you can decide how you want your goals measured. So if you want it measured by feet or attempts, so I might say 10 feet, they threw it 8 feet, they threw it 6 feet, etc. And if you want to add attempts, you can then go attempts. And then you can say, do 10 of 10, 9 of 9 of 10, 8 of 10, etc. So you can just fill that in on the information that you feel pertinent for each of your students. Now, we have one section for a student already here. So we're going to go back up here to where our student names are, to that question. We're going to go ahead to this 3 dots, and you're going to go to section based on answer. Click on that. So I just made a section for Joe. So with Joe, I'm going to go to section 2 every time I click on Joe. So I'm going to go back down here and I'm going to make one for Kim. So I'm going to add a section, and I'll call this one Kim. Let's say Kim's goal is to run a mile in 12 minutes, let's just say. I suggest when you put this part here, you want to put the student's name right up front and maybe the year you're doing it for. So then when you update your goals, you know exactly which one it is. So this is a 2021, 2022 school year. This is just a trick that will help you later. So we've got Kim's goals now. Great. So we'll just say she did it in 12 minutes, she did 11 minutes, 10. Okay, so however you want to update the goal. We'll do our last section, which would be our last student, which was Tatum. So we'd write in Tatum's name. We'd add her goal, which is to slide. So we'd write her name, the year. It's always, it'll help us later. Just trust me on that. And then slide 15 feet. There's lots of ways to do this. I mean, it's really about what you want to record and what you want to track. You can do it all different ways. So just this part, you have to play with what you're comfortable and what you want to track. Okay, so we have all our students have a section now. So I'm going to go back to their names up on the top here and make sure after their name it says continue to section, Kim, and then Tatum, we're going to continue to Tatum. Okay, and then under their names, you don't want it to continue to the next section. You want it to submit at the end, okay? So you don't want it to go on to the next student, so you're just going to go to submit. And then this one, sorry, I'm unable to see it, but you would do the same thing, submit. Okay, so once you do that, you have all your students in there. You're going to go ahead and put responses in. So I went up to my send button. I'm going to go to this link here. I'm going to copy it, open it in a new window here. All right, and I'm going to put an answer in for each kid, because then we can easily, I just put in a generic thing and test for each kid, and just put a generic thing in for the goal. Okay, submit another response. So do that for each student. There we go, and then I write test, so we know that's our test line. Okay. And then the last one, it's going to be our last test. Okay, so now we should have responses for all of our students. So we can close out of that form and come back to the main form we started on. Once in there, we're going to go up to the top here and it says responses. So we're going to click on that. And you're going to click on create a spreadsheet. You can name it whatever you like. Hit create. And there's our answers. I'm going to stop the video here because that's how you set up the Google form piece. I will set up a second video which will show you how to do the pivot tables, which will allow your students' information to be each on an individual sheet at the bottom.